Trump had a big announcement. We have a video, right?
Here we go.
And what he has to say.
Stepping in.
This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening, and they've done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically he's saying they're going to clean up DC because it's a wreck outside the Capitol. I mean, I know that here in Arizona, even outside the Capitol is terrible. Like, it's not a safe place to be. There's drugs going on. There's all the homelessness. Who knows what is happening there, but I wouldn't want to walk those streets alone at night. I'll tell you that. And that's not how any Capitol should be. Like, that should be a place that anybody, any citizen can go and feel safe being at the Capitol, right? Especially the one in DC.
Right. That's true. I mean, here it's probably your biggest threat. It's probably the sun, because actually it's hot as, all heck out there. And those people are out there in there with no help, no protection. So it's not the more humane thing to do to just let them live on the streets and take over the streets. That's not helping anyone. And it's not helping them especially. So we have to address the problem and actually take action, guys. I was thinking about this the other day when I was hearing about this. Or I guess yesterday, it doesn't seem to make sense to me that we have gangs. Like, why do we have gangs? Why is there so much crime in DC? We couldn't take a firearm into DC. So that was one thing that deterred us. We were like, no, normally Arizona, we can pack anywhere we want. We're often packing. But going to DC, there's strict laws against it, which is crazy because there's a lot of violence. There's a lot of shootings. Right. There's a lot of problems all the time there. So why is this the case, guys? And it's usually always in these Democrat cities. Everybody knows why. It's because they're soft on crime. They don't actually punish the people who need to be punished. From what I'm hearing on these stories they've got with the federalization, instantly people are getting responses to phone calls for, if there's a shooting or whatever, feds are there. I think even the state National Guard has been sent in. Yeah. People are on the case to stop it immediately. And that's what needs to happen from city to city. LA, I can't wait to see the Chicago Chirac. I mean, they call Chicago Chirac.
That's crazy.
Because there are people getting shot and killed every day to the point where they don't even report it anymore. And they want to act like this is all normal. It happens. It's guns. No, it's not guns. It's violence usually coming from gang violence. Right? There's people that run those streets, and it's time to take back our streets, guys. And this isn't a federal takeover. I know they want to spin that like, oh, this is Trump moving in with the Gestapo, whatever. No, this is totally finally what it looks like to take our streets back. There shouldn't be any gangs.
Right.
There shouldn't be any homelessness.
And we should be ending this homelessness crisis. Like, we're the richest nation in the world. We shouldn't have homelessness like everywhere. Yeah. Like every street corner, you see homeless people, right? You see panderers. Like, that should not be a thing here in the United States.
Panhandlers,
yeah. So yeah, the fact that he is wanting to make our streets cleaner and safer and a place that actually you would want to come to, right? Like, I heard him describe it that his dad had told him not to go into a restaurant if it has a dirty door, because if it has a dirty front door, then it's going to have a dirty kitchen and you're not going to want to go in there and eat the food, right? Yeah, he had, I think it was in this speech or maybe a different one, but he had said that, and how, same thing with our country. If we have a dirty capital, like, what does that say about us as our government, as our nation, if we can't keep things tidy and clean, right? So
absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense. And my proposal, I mean, and he also, I don't know if it was in that speech, but he talks about how he wants to cut funding for states if they don't start to clean up their homeless problem. And I know people are like, oh, well, see, they're just going after, the poor people. But it's like, no, it's going to force the state to actually have to deal with these things.
Yeah, because there are homeless shelters that take in homeless people. Obviously, most of the time they don't want to live there. And that's the problem, right? They don't actually want a better life. So there's homeless shelters, there's rehab centers. So if they're having issues like that, they can go check into one of those. And then if they're criminals, then yes, they do need to go to jail. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Trump's just trying to send all the homeless people to jail. And it's like, if you're a criminal, then yes, but you have other options too. And I'm sorry, but it's not an option just to sleep outside in the street, making it a nasty environment for everyone.
Right.
There are options for you if you don't have money that you can get help. You will get government help. You will get a place to stay. Churches offer food to people all the time, and there's churches everywhere.
Right.
So there's solutions to these problems, and it just seems like a lot of Democrats just want to be like, just let the problems keep happening because that's just, what they want to do. And we're over here saying, no, there are better options. They can live better lives. Let's make sure that happens. And it will clean up the streets in the process,
Jesus does want us to take care of the low, the poor, the hungry. That is true. All of that is true. Now, everything's also very complex, right? This isn't the same time of, the same era of in Jesus's era and part of the world where people were literally starving to death everywhere. Now, kids are starving. People are starving today, and that is true. However, most of that starvation and things is not because we don't have the resources, as opposed to back in the day. There was limited shortages of food.
I mean, how many people throw away their food, right?
Right. Because like you just said, most churches, and there's churches everywhere, will do that work and provide food for people anyone who comes in. Food is available to be provided for people. So one of the best things you can do is know where the local church is and tell people, here's where you can go to get food. And if you want to feed them, if you want to feed people in your car off to the side, it's up to you. I would avoid giving them money, but keep snacks in your car, guys. Keep some beef jerky, keep some waters, and give them the food. And then, of course, then you can also see if they're like, oh, I'm okay. Then they obviously were just kind of panhandling. They're big grifting.
Right.
Because we need to take care of people, but that doesn't mean that people should be manipulated psychologically to feel bad in order to make income for them on the streets. That is not quite the same thing.
Right. And I know more than the food, it's about where they're going to stay and live and sleep and all of that. And that's why, like I said, there are homeless shelters, and a lot of cases, guys, the homeless don't want to live there.
Yeah.
And it's because they have rules. And it's okay, well, you're getting a free place to stay. So yeah, there's going to be rules. If I go move into my mom's house and she doesn't charge me rent, I have to follow her rules. No food in the bedrooms, no music after 11 o'clock, no friends unless it's approved. I wouldn't want to live in those rules. And that's why I don't. And we have our own place. But if you're in a situation and you can't afford it and you have to live somewhere where you're not paying rent, then you do have to give into the rules and follow the rules. That's just the trade-off.
That's the same thing we're seeing with the SNAP program, right? We're seing these SNAP waivers. And to clarify, the waiver does mean that the states can decide to not give the exceptions for junk food, right? So that people are getting junk food,
right,
and they're using it, and all that does is reward big companies for giving people health problems. The people are the poorest people who need this food, and a lot of people are saying, well, that's not right, you shouldn't be able to do it. But like you just said, you could still buy junk food, but you should have to do it on your own dime, like RFK was talking about.
Right.
All they're doing is giving people bad choices. As soon as you make those choices where the stores cannot provide junk food for those SNAP programs for the billions of dollars from the federal government, that's when you're going to see them start being nutritious.
And I saw this video the other day of a woman who gets money from the government, and she was complaining about how she can't buy brownies. We're trying to stop her from being able to buy her brownies in a box. And then this other woman making a really great point, like, yeah, you can't buy the brownies in the box. We're not going to fund you for that. But guess what? You can go buy the flour, you can buy the eggs, you can buy the milk, you can buy the cocoa powder, and you can make your own brownies, but you're a little too lazy to do that. And that's probably why you're on government assistance in the first place.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like people just want to take with no restrictions. And then that just creates entitlement and just people being like really bratty about it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I get it. And I don't want to spend too much time on this, but, you know, I would love to have my buddy who was a producer. Remember, he came over and he had dinner with us. You weren't there when he was telling the story. He works in the healthcare system and he's a really good dude. And he is a believer in Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And he does the work, right? And so he works at a place where when people come in, it's people who can't afford their health care and often people off the streets. And then, you know, we pay for our government tax dollars, pay for them to be taken care of. And he goes above and beyond and tries to find people houses, places to live, jobs. And I think every single one of them, maybe a half a dozen so far of people that he's actually tried to help, they have all said no. They have all, and actually even gotten really like belligerent with him. They've been like, oh, you're trying, like you said, trying to control me. I don't want. He's like, dude, I found you a place to live. I can't go there. I don't want, you know, because you have to be sober. You have to give up.
They don't want to follow the rules.
Right. They don't want to follow the rules. They don't want to, they want to use, you know, their money and stuff like that they get for alcohol, for things that like, well, I shouldn't have to give up my, if I want to have a drink, I want to have a drink. Bro, get your life together first.
Right.
And you just see how like basically none of them were grateful. And it sucks. Some of them were veterans. And it's just, it's a complicated situation, guys. So I know, don't let anybody guilt you on this because we do have to take care of people, yes. But at the same time, there are so many available avenues for people to get help. The majority of them just don't.
They don't want it. Yeah.
And that's their choice too. My solution would be Bumtown. You've heard me talk about it. They need to build a town outside of town, and you can take people there, and then, yeah, you can bum it up all you want.
Whatever you want out there. Bumtown.
Bumtown.
Just don't do it in our town.
Yeah, right. Take them down to Bumtown. Semi-serious. I mean, like that one guy, I was just reading Solomon Galligan, the Colorado guy that tried to take a kid. He was an offender, and he tried to take a kid from a mall. You guys might have heard about this story.
No.
They just released him. No charges.